Every year, the world spends over $1 trillion on imported goods. That's a huge amount of money spent on products that travel thousands of miles, burning fossil fuels and contributing to pollution along the way. In fact, transportation alone is responsible for nearly 30% of global greenhouse gas emissions. But here's the kicker: much of what we buy doesn't need to travel far at all. It could be made locally, cutting down on carbon emissions, waste, and the strain on our planet's resources. So, why aren't more of us buying local? The truth is, most people don't realize the impact their everyday choices have on the environment. From food to clothing to furniture, buying products that are made nearby can make a big difference. In this video, we'll uncover the surprising facts about why buying local matters for the planet, and show you how this simple change can help reduce your carbon footprint, support your community, and protect the Earth. Stick around, because we'll also explore some easy ways to start buying local today, without breaking the bank. Chapter 1: The Power of Your Purchase. How local supports the Earth. Every time we make a purchase, we make a decision that impacts the planet. Local products, unlike their imported counterparts, usually have a much smaller carbon footprint. Why? It's all about transportation. According to the US Environmental Protection Agency, transportation accounts for nearly 30% of the country's total greenhouse gas emissions. By buying locally, you cut down on the need for long-distance transportation, which is a significant contributor to pollution and climate change. Think about it: when you buy a locally grown apple or a handmade scarf, the carbon emissions from transport are dramatically reduced. This not only lowers air pollution but also reduces the strain on roadways and fossil fuels. In fact, a study published by the University of California found that local food typically travels fewer than 50 miles to reach consumers, while imported food can travel thousands of miles. By simply choosing to support local businesses, you're also helping to foster a sustainable supply chain that uses fewer resources and less energy. It's a small but powerful way to reduce your overall environmental impact. Chapter 2: Behind the Scenes. How local goods save energy. When you purchase something made locally, you're choosing to minimize its energy footprint. This is especially true when it comes to food and goods that are often transported long distances. The energy costs involved in shipping items across the globe are enormous. A study by the World Bank found that global food transportation alone generates more than 1.5 billion metric tons of CO2 emissions annually. This energy-intensive process includes the use of fuel for ships, trucks, and airplanes, as well as the energy needed for packaging and refrigeration. By buying local, you bypass these extra energy-consuming steps. For example, when you buy a piece of local furniture, it doesn't require months of shipping across oceans or a lengthy stay in a warehouse. The materials are sourced nearby, and the item travels a fraction of the distance, saving vast amounts of energy. Even better, local producers tend to use more energy-efficient methods. For instance, local farmers may use solar power or wind energy, significantly reducing the energy used in farming practices. In short, by choosing local, you're reducing energy consumption and helping the planet breathe a little easier. Chapter 3: Reducing Food Miles. Your plate's carbon footprint. Food miles refers to the distance food travels from its source to your plate. The longer the distance, the higher the carbon footprint, as transportation contributes heavily to food's environmental impact. In fact, food imported into the US travels an average of 1,500 miles before reaching your grocery store. That's a lot of unnecessary fuel burn for a simple meal. By buying food locally, you drastically reduce these food miles. Supporting your local farmers and markets helps cut down on the CO2 emissions that result from shipping food around the world. As an added bonus, local food is often fresher, tastier, and more nutritious. You get to enjoy the benefits of food that hasn't been sitting in trucks or warehouses for weeks. Seasonal produce is an excellent example. When you buy locally, you're more likely to choose foods that are in season, which often require less energy to grow and are better suited to the local climate. Supporting seasonal, local farming also encourages biodiversity and strengthens food security, making it an even more sustainable choice for the planet. If you're finding this information useful, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more tips on sustainable living and how you can make a big impact with small changes. Chapter 4: The Farm-to-Table Revolution. Local ingredients for a healthier planet. Farm-to-table dining has become a trendy buzzword, but it's much more than a passing fad. It's a movement that's redefining sustainability. By buying directly from local farmers, you cut out unnecessary middlemen, reducing the amount of energy and packaging that typically accompanies store-bought goods. Local ingredients are fresher, often organic, and cultivated with sustainable farming practices that protect the environment. Additionally, local farms are more likely to employ regenerative agricultural practices, which restore soil health and promote biodiversity. According to a report from the Riddale Institute, regenerative farming practices can capture carbon from the atmosphere and even reverse the effects of climate change. Supporting local farms also reduces the demand for industrialized agriculture, which often relies on harmful pesticides, monoculture crops, and factory farming practices that contribute to soil degradation, water pollution, and the loss of biodiversity. Chapter 5: The Eco-Warrior's Guide to Supporting Local Entrepreneurs. Local businesses don't just benefit the economy, they also help the planet. Small, eco-conscious entrepreneurs are often the ones leading the charge in implementing sustainable practices. Whether it's using biodegradable packaging, reducing waste, or sourcing materials locally, these businesses tend to be more committed to minimizing their environmental impact. By supporting local businesses, you help create a ripple effect that encourages more sustainable practices in your community. For example, a local clothing brand might prioritize natural fibers and eco-friendly dyes, while a local cafe might use locally sourced ingredients, compost its waste, and minimize single-use plastics. When you choose local, you're investing in the values of sustainability, innovation, and environmental responsibility. According to the American Independent Business Alliance, independent businesses are twice as likely to engage in environmentally friendly practices compared to large corporations. Chapter 6: Community Resilience. Building a local economy for the future. Buying local isn't just about reducing emissions and saving energy, it's about strengthening the entire community. When you spend your money locally, it circulates within the community, creating a multiplier effect. This means more money stays within the local economy, leading to more jobs, a stronger economy, and a greater sense of community resilience. This is especially important when you consider the challenges our globalized economy faces: supply chain disruptions, economic inequality, and environmental degradation. A local economy, on the other hand, is more adaptable and less dependent on external forces. It's a self-sustaining system that fosters long-term prosperity. A study by the Center for Rural Strategies found that when people spend $100 at local businesses, about $68 stays in the community, compared to only $43 when spent at a chain store. Supporting local businesses creates jobs, builds wealth, and strengthens the community, all while contributing to a sustainable future. Don't forget to subscribe for more insights on how you can build a sustainable, resilient community simply by changing where you spend your money. Conclusion: the ripple effect of buying local is more than just a trend. It's a simple but powerful way to help create a more sustainable, resilient, and vibrant world. From reducing carbon footprints to supporting local economies, every purchase you make has the potential to make a positive impact. The next time you head to the store or consider a meal out, remember that buying local isn't just good for you, it's good for the planet. By thinking globally and acting locally, we can build a future that's not only sustainable but also thriving for generations to come. So let's make it a habit, choose local, and watch the positive changes ripple through your community and the planet.